Hey everybody, and welcome to Point of the Week number 6. My name is Will. I am the founder of the Tennis Tribe. And if you haven't watched the Point of the Week before, what we're doing each week is breaking down a doubles point and giving you tips and strategies you can use for doubles next time you go out onto the tennis court. So in this week's point, like I said, this is Point of the Week number 6. What we're going to focus on today is how to not beat yourself. It's something I talk about a little bit, but I've never really broken down kind of what that means. And I want to really focus on 3 key points today that I like to use when I'm playing, say, a team that's not quite as good as me. That the only way I'm going to lose the match is if I beat myself. And these are mistakes I see all the time in doubles matches. In fact, just last week I saw a match where one team was clearly more talented than the other, and it went to a third set 10-point tiebreaker, and the better team actually almost lost. So I'm sure that's happened to you before. I know it's happened to me before, where you get off the court and you feel like, man, like we really were better than that team, and we ended up beating ourselves. And I feel like I've gotten a lot better at this over the past 2 years, and I'm going to share with you a few ways that I've been able to achieve that. So first of all, I'll show you the point here, and then I'm going to break down 3 specific shots and how they relate to the strategies that I like to use. Okay, so you can see it was a pretty good point there. I'm not sure where this is. It looks like a 4-0 men's doubles match from last year in Nevada and Las Vegas, it looks like. So the first key here is the server hits a really good kick serve out wide, and this guy runs out there and just gets a racket on it, and that's point number one. When you're playing a team that isn't quite as good as you, a lot of times all you have to do to win a given point is just to stay in it, just stay in the point. When I am playing with a partner and we know that we're a little bit better than the other team, you have a tendency to try to do a little more and to try to, kind of demolish the other team. Or I like to use returning it as an example because I'm a pretty good returner, and I like to. Sometimes I'll fall into this bad habit of trying to go for too much on the return, especially against a team that may not be as good as me and my partner. And when I do that, I just start missing. So really, the key is just to stay in the point, just to make a lot of balls, and they're gonna beat themselves because you're the better team. The only way you beat yourself is if you miss, obviously. So this guy does a good job of getting out there and just getting it back. He could try to smack a backhand cross court or down the line, and he'd probably miss it. But instead, he just hacks it back and gets it a pretty good lob over the net player's head there. So on this next shot, this guy has an overhead from the baseline, and I know you've seen this before. I see it all the time in recreational tennis. A lot of people will try to go for too much on overheads and miss. A lot of us don't have time to go out and practice for 10 hours a week our overheads and things like that. So we're not as good at overheads as we probably could be. But going for too much on overheads is a terrible way to beat yourself. And not just overheads, like I said, the returns, if you have a short ball. Really what you want to do on shots like this is rather than try to hit a winner off of a position where you're on the advantage against a team that you're a little bit better than, really you want to be looking forward to set up the next shot. So this guy does a good job of not going for too much on this overhead, and he's really trying to set up the next shot for his partner. So you can see instead of wagging at this, he tries to just get a low one to the opposite net player. And the opposite net player, you can tell he's in a weird position here and really struggles with this volley. So really just don't go for too much. When you're playing a team that you're better than them, they're not going to beat you. So if you go for too much, that's one way that you can beat yourself. So really thinking about, whether it's a short forehand or an overhead in this case, keeping it in, hitting a solid shot, and getting the next ball to put away. So always looking one step ahead. So he does a good job there. And then this guy hits a pretty decent relatively low slice backhand back across the net. And the net player here tries to hit a kind of an awkward inside out backhand here. So I'll show you here just in case you missed it last time. So you can see he kind of dumps it in the net. So first of all, he is a little bit too far back. He should be kind of charging into the net. But right there, when he's hitting it, he's hitting a really awkward shot. And I see a lot of people do this with their volleys. When there's an open court, maybe to their right, and they have a forehand volley, or open court to their left, like in this case, and you have a backhand volley, you're trying to hit an inside-out volley, which is really hard. Rather than do that, especially against teams that you feel like you're a little bit better than, just hit the easy shot. Keep everything cross court, especially with your volleys at the net. He could have easily hit stuck his racket out in front, hit a solid cross court backhand volley into this open court behind the net player here. And this net player wouldn't have been expecting it at all, because you can see throughout the point he's continuing to move to the right. So right here, the guy's going right, and he's even got his racket to his right. So if he had hit a cross-court volley back behind him here, they would have won the point. Maybe the guy gets a racket on it, but it's a lot higher percentage shot to go cross-court. So really, like I said, that's point 3. Hit the easy shot. Hit the cross-court shot. Going for too much, trying to hit down the line, inside-out volleys. It's not something that, as recreational, USTA 3540, 45 level tennis players, it's not a shot that we can hit at a high percentage. So hitting the easy shot, you'll win a lot more points, and you'll be better off. So quick recap. The first key is just staying in the point. Anytime you're on the run in a defensive position, just do whatever you can to stay in the point. Like I said, when I'm returning with my partner, if somebody has a big serve on the other side and we know we're better if we can just start the point, we're not focused on hitting big returns. We're just focused on making returns. Even if the net player puts it away, they will eventually miss some and we'll have an opportunity to break. So step 1, stay in the point. Step 2 is set up your next shot, or don't go for too much. So really focus on not trying to hit a winner on the first good ball you see. Rather than that, hit the shot with an expectation that the next shot will be a winner. So really focus on setting up your next shot, not going for too much. And then the last thing is hit the easy shot. These are kind of correlated, but hit the cross-court shot. So in this case, this guy didn't need to go inside-out backhand down the line volley. Just hit the easy cross-court shot to set up the next shot, which was point 2. So hopefully that helps. Let me know what you think. Comment below and let me know what are some other strategies you like to really focus on to make sure you don't beat yourself. So when you're going out playing a team that you feel like you should beat, what do you really like to focus on? What key points do you focus on that I didn't mention here today? I would love to hear from you. Comment below. If you liked it, share the video. Would love some feedback. And I will talk to you next week on point of the week number 7.